Hi, I'm Kiyoshi Husky, and this is a Dark Souls quick walkthrough. In this video, I want to show new players the best way to start a game, including how to find a few items to make the game just a little bit easier. Kiyoshi will be my name. Class really doesn't matter that much. I typically use warrior because it's balanced, but if you're going to be a dex build, you can use hunter. If you're using a strength build, bandit is good. Pyromancy is just a good class. Sorcerer and cleric if you want to use sorceries, or faith. Sorcery is pretty strong right out of the gate. Cleric takes a while to build up, but it finishes really strong. And deprived is if you really want to challenge. It's kind of pointless, but for me anyway, but some people like a challenge. So for this build, I'm going to start with hunter because I'm going to do a dex build. Gift should always be a master key. You can use black firebomb if you want to kill the asylum demon right away, the tutorial boss, but it's not really worth it because you have to do certain things anyway. Even if you kill the boss right away, you still have to go get your Estus flask and things like that. So I'm just gonna use master key. Use a physique, hair, face, all this stuff is whatever, your preference. I have had fun in the past going crazy customizing my character, but I don't do that anymore. I'm going to skip the cutscene because it's long, but it is good and you should watch it if you're playing a new game. If you want. Grab the key. Let's read these. I'm going to try and read all the notes. So R just moves the camera. RB, R1 basically is light attack. Great, now I have to kill this guy. That's the light attack. Right trigger is the heavy attack. And holding B down lets you dash. And pushing down right thumbstick locks onto an enemy. And when you're locked on an enemy, you kind of roll sideways with the enemy. It takes a whole lot of getting used to and practice just locking on and playing while you're locked on, and which enemy you should be locked on to. It's a game in of itself. Recover at this bonfire. Just hit A and then you can rest at it. Obviously we don't have anything to do right now, so we'll just leave. And we'll enter the boss area. And there's going to be a note up here that just says get away, because you're not supposed to fight this boss. We're just supposed to go out this door. And there's another bonfire here. Same thing. Can't really do anything, but it's a good idea to rest at this one in case you die to the asylum demon. Get your shield. The hunter starts out with kind of a weak shield. It's not the worst, but it's not that good. It's a large leather shield. Only 91% physical damage reduction, so you will take a little bit of chip damage. And only 52 stability, so it's not a great shield, but we're not going to be using it for that long. Whoops. Unequip that broken sword. He's not moving. It's curious. Sometimes he does that. We don't care. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back to hunt us. Change weapons. By pushing over on the directional pad, you can change your weapon. We're going to equip the short sword. By pushing over on the directional button, you can equip it or unequip it. Same with pushing left with the shield. So through this fog gate will be Rod. What's his name? I forget what that guy's name is. By pushing B, you can jump back, and if you push B while you're running, you will roll. Now we're too heavy. I like to run. I like to fast roll. So I'll take off my gloves. Then there's that boulder coming down. Just get out of the way.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Regrettably, I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine when thou ringest the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. Oh, one more thing. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you up, and thank you.
So the Estus flask heals us. That's our health potion. And to use an item, press X. And if you rest at a bonfire, you can replenish your Estus flasks. The key opened that door. Wield right weapon two-handed by pushing Y. And then moving forward and right bumper kicks, and right trigger by moving forward at the same time jumps. Those are not always easy to get. The bonfire also revives enemies. This is what I like about the hunter. You get a bow and a few standard arrows, so I like that. I don't really need to equip it now though, it's just going to add weight. With bow equipped, use right bumper to use bow and to shoot it, and then left trigger, right trigger changes arrows, because you can equip two different types of arrows. Let's just go through this quick. If we equip the bow, and you have two slots that you can equip arrows. So to equip the bow, we're going to switch using the directional to get to the bow. Then left bumper equips it, and then left bumper again lets you zoom in. And using the directional pad, you can zoom in or out. But we are not going to use this for a while. If you want to backstab somebody, just get behind them and light attack right bumper. And then for parrying, left trigger does the parry action, and then you have to follow it up with the right attack. Right trigger followed by the left trigger followed by right bumper. With bow pulled, precision fire mode release, and precision fire mode, yes, I already showed you that by zooming in. Okay, while falling, if you do right bumper, you can do a plunge attack, and we'll do that now. So for this boss, the Asylum Demon, I should say, just stay behind him and hit his butt. If he jumps, stay away from him, then get behind him again. Sometimes you have to roll through items in your way, like these vases. Just keep hitting him in the butt. First time you fight him will be difficult, but the more you do it, he becomes pretty easy. So we use the key we got from him to open these big doors, and we get 2,000 souls. Good job. Go straight ahead. Sounds good. Down here's a lost soul. We'll grab that. To use the lost soul, go into the item menu. Go down to Soul of the Lost Dead. Soul of the Lost Undead, who has long ago gone hollow, used to acquire souls. Souls are the source of all life, and whether undead or even hollow, one continues to seek them. So, use the item. I normally save those to give to Framp later in the game for 500 souls, but it's a matter of value. Sometimes 200 souls now is more valuable than 500 souls later.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen.
I'm going to skip the rest of that cutscene. I just like to see that crow part. It's pretty cool. It does not take long though, so in your gameplay you probably can watch that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to level up. I always level up Vitality first as much as I can. Just because it's your hit points. Let's go through all of these quick. Vitality is your hit points. It's your life, so it's extremely important. Attunement determines how many spells you can hold. We have 0 attunement slots right now because our attunement is at 9 and it needs to be at 10 to have at least 1. But we are not going to use anything that requires attunement, so it's not important to us. It's actually good that it's low. Endurance is very important. It determines stamina and equipment load. Your stamina is very important. It determines how many times you can swing your weapon or how many hits you can take on your shield, because every time you take a hit on your shield it drains stamina, and when it's all gone your shield blows back and it leaves you open for a hit. Strength and dexterity scale with your weapon, so this is going to be a dex build, so I'm going to focus a lot on dexterity. The only time I will increase strength is if I have an item, a weapon, a shield or something that requires a minimum strength level. Resistance is very useless, so never put anything into resistance. And then intelligence is for sorcery, and faith is for faith if you're a cleric. So both of these we will keep very low. So the hunter is very good in that these items that you're not going to use, like attunement, resistance, intelligence, faith, they're all fairly low, and that's good because we don't want to waste points in those areas. Now we're going to get these items. This is humanity. 3 of them. Humanity. Rare tiny black sprite found on corpses, used to gain 1 humanity and restore a large amount of hit points. This black sprite is called humanity, but little is known about its true nature. If the soul is the source of all life, then what distinguishes the humanity we hold within ourselves? So to use it, just use item. We only want to use one. Up in our left-hand corner, you see that the number went from 0 to 1 in that circle. So now we can go to a bonfire. And we can reverse our hollowing, which will turn us human. This is completely unnecessary right now, but I just want to demonstrate. And if I want to kindle, I would have to beat the boss first. There is the pinwheel boss that you have to beat that would give you the right of kindling. Firelink Shrine is this one already has 10 Estus flasks associated with it, so I would not be able to kindle this bonfire right now anyway, until I do beat that boss. So, let's get a few more items. Down this little pathway are some fire bombs. I'm just going to show you every item. Bisque urn filled with black powder explodes, inflicting fire damage. Relatively powerful ranged weapon, especially in situations calling for fire damage. A very precious item at low levels. Many warriors use to augment their strategic repertoire. And they can be useful. I don't use them a lot. Let's see what this says. So to use a gesture, we'd hit the select button, and then you can choose from waving. There's several different gestures, and it's fun to collect them. They're more useful when you're playing online and you want to say hi to people that you summon. This guy, Petrus.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thurland. Have you business? If not, I prefer to keep a distance.
He's kind of a jerk, but we'll come back to him, and he will give us a copper coin, and we can get a gesture from him. Here's an elevator that goes up to the Undead Parish, but it's not in operation yet. So we're going to go down here to this hidden path and get a few items. This is the important one, the Homeward Bone. Return to last bonfire rested at. Bonfires are fueled by bones of the undead, in rare cases the strong urge of their previous owners to seek bonfires and chance their bones with a homeward instinct. So use that when you want to return to your last bonfire. And here we just have a Morning Star and a Talisman. The Talisman is used for faith builds. And the Morning Star, it weighs 4 units, whereas the short sword I have right now only weighs 2 units. But it does a little bit more damage, and it does cause bleeding, which is nice. But when you miss with any type of hammer, when you miss, it throws you off balance. I will demonstrate quickly. If I miss, it throws me off balance so that it leaves you open to another attack. I will just keep the short sword for now. And this is Cracked Red Eye Orb. That's for use when you're playing online and you want to invade some other players. Lloyd's Talisman. I believe those are used for disallowing people from using a flask, preventing people from using a flask. Jump down here. Some of these skeletons will try to follow us, so I'm going to run up here through this door. There's a soul item behind here in this corner. I'll grab that. And then to lose this skeleton, I'm just going to run along this wall and wait till he falls off. Just kind of force him back, and then he'll... Usually he doesn't even make it this far. He'll be about here, and then he'll jump to his death. When he's in the area, this campfire, this bonfire, will not be lit and you cannot use it. So you have to make sure all enemies are away from you before you can use the bonfire. Okay, so we have those items. Now I am going to get a few items. The first one I'm going to get is the soul of the Firekeeper's soul, which will improve our Estus flask. It'll improve the flask so that every time you use an Estus, it'll give you 100 hit points more. So that's good. I'm going to send the elevator back up, because I'm either going to use a homeward bone or I'm going to commit suicide, one of the two. Either way, it's going to send me back up to the bonfire. So saves me time to have the elevator up there. Get this nameless soldier soul. I'm probably going to waste a humanity here because I don't want to use a homeward bone for this. If you're playing and you're just starting, you're not going to be human because there's really no reason to use the humanity like I did. I was just demonstrating. A transient curse is for fighting ghosts. Limb of the victim of a curse. Temporary curse allows engagement with ghosts. The only way to fight back against ghosts who are cursed beings is to become cursed oneself. The safest method, however dreadful, is to cut off an arm of the dead. So, great. So if we were going to fight the boss, if we were going to fight a ghost, we would have to use a transient curse. Otherwise, we won't be able to hit them. But I'm not going to fight them. I'm just going to grab the Firekeeper's soul, which is right there. You can see the glowing item right there. And we're going to run past these ghosts. Stay to the right to avoid that one. Down this hall. You can see there's a land bridge. I will try to make it back, but if we die, that's fine. Alright, since we made it, I'll just keep going. You can try to make it back, but if you die, it's no big deal. You'll just go back up to the bonfire. And in the very beginning of the game like this, you're not losing very much at all. So don't worry about it. In fact, sometimes it's better just to jump off the edge there into the depths of water and go back to the bonfire. And then just come back down this elevator. And now we're going to go up to the Valley of the Drakes. And this is why I get the master key, because I want to open this door. Get this soul right behind the door of the nameless soldier. And we're going to go to the dragon, the sleeping dragon. And if you're like me, this character with the hunter, I want to replace this shield. So I'm going to grab the shield that's by this dragon. But doing so will wake him up and it'll probably kill me. But we'll see. Maybe I can dodge him. First, we're going to get the soul of the proud knight over here. This does not wake him up. But this does. Let's see what we can do. Oh, yeah. I thought I had him dodged. That's fine. We're going to go back up to the bonfire. Okay, I'm going to equip the shield we got. I'm going to unequip this. Okay, so this shield, let's take a look at the... Shield of a nameless knight, likely a high-ranked knight of Astora, one of the enchanted blue shields. The Dragon Crest shield greatly reduces fire damage. So, stability is 55, not great, but okay. The fire resistance is nice at 85. And very importantly, it reduces 100% physical damage. And it only weighs 3 pounds. So, It's a good shield, and it looks nice. Very cool looking shield. So, let's also turn in the Firekeeper soul that we got. Reinforce Estus Flask, yes. Okay, so now our Estus Flask is +1. As I said, it improves our Estus Flask so that it heals 100 more health points. Now we go back, see the elevator is up here because I sent it back up, if you remember. But you don't have to. It's just something I do to save a little time. Now I'm going to get some better armor because the armor I'm wearing is not good. We go back into the Valley of Drakes. And we're going to go into this cave that leads to Blighttown. There's going to be a few infested barbarians up here, big guys. But we're just going to... You can run past them and risk getting hit. But what I do is I just wait for them to hit. Then I go to the next one. If they yell, you can just run past them. Same with this guy. Take their hit. Then once you're past them, run. If they hit you, they can poison you, which makes this run a lot more difficult. So, then I go down this level stairway, and then one more level. And we're going to drop down here. Drop down this level or use the stairs. Using the ladder is safer, probably. Then one more. Grab this. And since we have no health left and no humanity, we're just going to die. It's the fastest way to get back. I could use a homeward bone, but again, it's just you're just wasting 500 souls. So now we're going to equip the armor. First of all, the waistcloth. Look at the waistcloth. It's well over twice as good as these leather boots. Weighs a little bit more, but way better. And then let's look at the chest piece. Is 8 hip or down. It's 8 resistance better, physical distance, and it weighs a little bit less. So both of them are better, so I'm going to equip both of them. I recommend just, if you're a new player, get these 3 items. Get that Firekeeper Soul to improve your Estus Flask. Get the shield if you don't have one, but at least get that Soul of the Proud Knight. The Soul of the Proud Knight is a pretty valuable soul. The name of the soul that you pick up determines how many hit points, or how many souls you're going to get when you use them. The Soul of the Proud Knight is going to give you more than the Nameless Soldier. So if we use this one, it gives us 2,000 souls. That's the one that was by the dragon, the sleeping dragon, that you can get for free because he won't wake up. So definitely go grab that and get 2,000 souls. The large soul of the Nameless Soldier gives us 1,000 souls. And that one was right behind the door when you used the Master Key. And then this Nameless Soldier is the one that was just at the bottom of the elevator when you just took a left and it was down in that little gully. I believe this one is 800. Let's see. Yeah. So 3,800 souls that we get to use now. Don't use these before you go and get, the Firekeeper Soul or the armor or the shield. Use them after you've gotten everything because you don't want to waste it if you die. Anyway, so now we can level up. Endurance is very important, so I'm going to spend a few in that. We have one more. Dexterity is nice. We do need 14 strength because I'm going to use a katana later on. So I'll bump that one up as well. So, there you go. Okay, I'm going to show you one more item before we call it for this video. And that is, if you're a strength build, you need to get this weapon, the Zweilander. It is one of the best, if not the best, strength weapon in the game. Of course, that's subjective. Everybody has their opinion, but a lot of people agree that this is one of the best, if not the best. Run past these skeletons. You can pick up the item, but just run past these skeletons. You should not have to die doing this. Just run past these skeletons, grab the Zweilander. Then run up this path. You can choose to grab this weapon if you want, a winged spear. But it's kind of dangerous and not worth it. Now we're just running past everything. And we're going to go back through this doorway and along the edge again. And if any skeletons are following us, they should die. Gives us a couple bonus souls. See, normally that's where they drop off. Not quite enough to level up, but let's check out this weapon. If you are a strength build, the Zweilander does 130 damage single-handed, and it does more when you use it two-handed. Do I have enough strength? I don't quite even have enough strength to use it two-handed. I think you need 16 strength to use it two-handed, and 24 strength to use it one-handed. Yes, you need 24 strength and 10 dexterity. 24 strength to use it one-handed, and 2/3 of that, I believe, to use it two-handed. So 16 strength to use it two-handed. The weight is 10 units, which is a little bit heavy, but for a greatsword, that's actually light. So, and you can block with it. It has 44 stability and blocks 70% of physical damage, which is great for a sword. I mean, it's not as good as a shield, obviously, but it's still very good. So, I just wanted to show you that if you're doing a strength build. It does take a different type of gameplay because you typically want to two-hand that weapon. You're not going to use a shield. So it takes a different type of gameplay and a different style of play that you'd have to get used to. But it's very fun, and a lot of people do it. But that's it for this episode of Dark Souls quick walkthrough. The next walkthrough I do, episode 2, we'll get to the Taurus demon, to the boss. But until then, thank you for watching. I'm Kiyoshi Husky, and I just want you to stay alive, bro.